Victory Studios in downtown Little Rock, this is Capitol View.
And good Sunday morning to you. Welcome into Capitol View. I'm Jay Burrs. She's been well known around these parts for some time, and then she made it to one of the highest profile gigs, also one of the most highly criticized gigs there is. We welcome Sarah Huckabee Sanders to the Cap. And Sarah, we certainly appreciate the time. How have you been during the pandemic here in Arkansas?
You know, like everybody else, there have been some good moments and some very difficult moments. I'm a mom of 3 small kids, so learning how to homeschool has been quite the challenge. I didn't realize how hard second grade math had gotten over the last 25 years, and so that's been a bit of a heavier lift than I think we expected. But, you know, honestly, our family's done just fine, and we've spent the bulk of the last couple weeks trying to figure out how we can help other people, and that's been, you know, something we've really tried to pour our heart and soul into and see what we can do to help other people around the community.
Yeah, I want to get into that with you. You guys created the Arkansas 30-Day Fund. Now, I know it's been going for a couple of weeks here now, but what is it exactly? Because I know it's similar to what the state has, but not quite. Kind of go into that.
So we are not a government organization. The Arkansas 30-Day Fund is all run by volunteers who just want to help people in their community. We've raised money from the private sector, and this is really just about Arkansans helping Arkansans. We wanted to create a quick and easy application process. The whole thing takes about 10 minutes so that businesses can come on quick, easy, free of red tape, and we can help try to provide some resources to bridge the gap before they either receive state or federal funding or until the demand for their business comes back, which as Arkansas starts opening up is happening. But frankly, a lot of small businesses, which are the backbone of this state, are really hurting and really struggling. And this was our way to try to help as much as possible, make sure they keep their doors open and save the jobs that exist through the small business community across the state.
Now, what are you guys actually defining as a small business? Because I know, when it comes to technicalities, we kind of vary on that. But what are you guys calling a small business? And also, too, how much can small businesses apply for?
Absolutely. So what we're doing is we have a pretty low threshold for eligibility. We require that each business be owned and operated here in the state of Arkansas, have been in existence for at least a year, and have between 3 and 30 employees. So we're really focusing on those small, very small businesses, a lot of mom and pop shops, and frankly, some of the ones that have a little bit more trouble getting through that government application process. So it might take them a little longer before they get that funding. We're not trying to make a business whole. We're simply trying to help them through the most difficult time and at their most vulnerable. The maximum amount that we give is $3,000, which is what we found just enough infusion of resources and funding to really help a business make up for some of that time lost, keep their doors open, make payroll, cover the rent or their health insurance, or frankly, a lot of the new expenses that businesses are having to take on as they open back up for that PPE gear and making sure that they're prepared with sanitizing stations and other things that make their customers feel safe as they return back to work and back to their stores.
Now you guys these are forgivable loans, but you guys have kind of put the stipulation on if a business kind of gets back at it, really gets it cooking, that you guys are encouraging to pay it forward.
Absolutely. It's not a requirement. These are forgivable loans with no strings attached. We give the gift expecting nothing in return. But what we do hope is that if a business gets to a place where they're able to and they can pay it forward, we'd love for them to give that money back to the Arkansas 30-Day Fund so we can invest in another small business around the state. Again, not a requirement, but something we certainly hope people will do if they get to a place where they can.
Now, this program as a whole, I guess, what was the inspiration for it? Because I know I've seen a similar program, I believe, in Virginia, but where did you guys kind of come up with the idea and all the concept for it?
Yeah, so a friend of mine is the one that started the Virginia 30-Day Fund. I called him up. I said, I love what you're doing. Tell me more. I figured, you know what? we can replicate this here in Arkansas. And I knew enough people that needed help and assistance in the state that I figured if we could help even 10 businesses, we would be doing something to help people across the state. By the end of this week, by this afternoon, we've actually helped 30 businesses here in the state and have plans to help a significant number more moving forward from here. So it's really taken off. We've received several hundred applications, and we partnered with Arkansas State University, something else I'm very excited about, just this week. And they have student volunteers. They're recruiting and training those volunteers to help us process applications faster so that we can help more people and do it as quickly as possible.
And if anybody's been watching this show, they know I'm also excited about that. That's my alma mater there. Tell you what, we're gonna take a quick break here because we're kind of through the niceties. I do want to kind of get your opinion on some other things that have been going on here in the state. So stay with us here. We're gonna have much more with Sarah Huckabee Sanders here on Capitol View.
For more than 30 years, Superior Senior Care has served seniors and their families in the comfort of their own home, promoting independence, peace, and emotional stability. Isn't it time you called for your aging loved one?
Sold it, sold it, sold it.
Attention Conway homebuyers and real estate investors. Absolute Real Estate Auction. With a custom-built two-story estate home situated in Conway's exclusive Fairways at Centennial Valley Country Club subdivision. With a 5,200 square foot main house, 1,700 square foot guest home, outdoor kitchen, entertainment area, custom-built pool, basketball court, and 2 double garages. Selling regardless of price. Wednesday, June 17th at 2 p.m. Download the Wilson app or go online at wilsonauctioneers.com.
Sold it, sold it, sold it.
Hi, I'm Missy Gibson. My family and I would like to invite you to see all that John Gibson Auto Sales has to offer. We have one of the largest, most diverse, and newest inventory of any buy here, pay here dealers in the state. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, motorcycles, ATVs, campers, performance trailers, and boats. Whether you have good credit, bad credit, or no credit, we will finance you. Check us out at johngibsonautosales.com and we will have your purchase ready when you get here.
This is what being a Titan is all about. These women are good. These women are tough. Don't quit. Wow. The Titan Games, Monday on NBC.
Tuesday.
We're looking for excellence.
2 couples that will amaze you.
I already got goosey. I wait for that for the finale.
Wow.
World of Dance, new Tuesday on NBC. And every Friday, catch a World of Dance encore with exclusive content.
When you call Superior Senior Care, we'll tell you more about our registry of caregivers who are trustworthy, experienced, and compassionate to your family's needs. Call us today for your free in-home consultation.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back into Capitol View. More with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Let's get right to it here. We got through some of the nice stuff here, but I do want your opinion. How do you think Arkansas has handled the COVID-19 crisis, just kind of in your point of view?
Look, I think that Governor Hutchinson has done a great job of doing what's best for our state. He's done exactly what a governor is supposed to do. He's made decisions that he feels are best for this community. What works best here isn't necessarily what's going to be best in New York or Florida or anywhere else. And I think he's really taken the data and the information and done all of the things that he thinks are best to not only protect the health of the citizens of the state, but also to protect the livelihoods of the people of this state. And I think that both things are incredibly important, and I think he's done a good job leading in a very difficult and unprecedented time for the state.
I do want to kind of get your take here on something you tweeted out. You said last week that President Trump is making the right move to raise the importance of election security, saying the Democrats are trying to delegitimize the results of that 2016 election. Kind of what were you getting at there?
Look, I think that there's nothing more important as we go into an election cycle that we maintain election security. It's something that we spent a significant amount of time on at the White House, and I think it's something that every American wants to see happen. They want to make sure that when they cast a vote, that it's not being taken away, it's not being questioned after the election is over. We did see that happen in 2016. I feel confident that we're in a good place. They've spent, again, significant amount of time making sure that we don't have foreign interference in our election. A very, very important thing, and I think that it's something that we should be talking about and preparing for now and not waiting until right before November to try to make sure we've done everything we can to secure the integrity of our elections.
Now, I'd said earlier that you had probably one of the most high-profile gigs in this country, probably one of the more higher scrutinized gigs in this country as the White House press secretary. I guess just what was that time like for you? And obviously it kind of comes with some good and some bad.
Look, I loved my job. I loved my time in Washington, but my home and my heart are here in Arkansas. The day after I stepped out of the White House for the last time, my family left D.C. In fact, my kids haven't been back since. And it was an incredible time in our lives. I'm very grateful for the honor and the privilege of getting to serve my country in the White House and work for this president. But when my time was finished, it was time to come home, and we couldn't be happier to be back in Arkansas and be back among so many good friends in our family. And, you know, it's just been incredible experience all around.
Now, did you ever get excited? Maybe excited may not be the right word here, but did you ever look forward to some of those sparring matches? I mean, obviously we have a very outspoken president and sort of having to, you know, answer questions about what he tweets, things of that nature. Did you ever get, you know, anxious, excited about some of those sparrings with the media? Because obviously, and I want to say this, you know, national media tend to be a little different than what us local guys are.
Yeah, you're certainly a little bit nicer than some of the Washington crowd. But look, they're some of the smartest and toughest journalists in the country, and that's why they sit in that room. Again, I enjoyed my interaction with them. Some days a lot more than others, but at the end of the day, I absolutely loved what I was doing. I loved that I got to go out and represent our country. I got to travel with the president to dozens and dozens of countries. I sat in on meetings with world leaders of 60 or 70 different people from around the world and witness history from the very front row. And that is something that I will cherish and I'm proud of. And it was an honor to get to do it. And just really a great experience and one I learned a lot. But certainly, I don't think you can do that job, nor should you, if you don't enjoy it and you don't love it. And I was glad that I did.
And obviously having some pretty thick skin, I would imagine, as there are some guys who try to play gotcha, I would imagine, on both sides of the coin here. But, you know, did things ever get personal with any of those guys? I mean, obviously, you know, there's a lot of agendas in D.C., you know, no matter what direction you're coming from. But did you ever kind of find yourself in a spot where things were maybe getting close to that line?
Certainly there were moments. I mean, you're talking about some of the most intense exchanges that you can have in that type of setting. And, you know, when you're having and dealing with a lot of personal attacks, as I did, on pretty much everything, what you say, what you look like, what you do, who you're friends with, you know, that can be difficult. But at the end of the day, again, it was a true honor to have the job and to get to serve my country and represent my country, not just on a national scale, but on an international scale. And I'm proud that I got to do that. And I'm, you know, once my time was finished, I was glad that we were able to come back home and be here in Arkansas.
And I guess, too, is this one of these things where did you agree with everything that the president either put forth or said? Because I know a lot of times, you know, that position, no matter who's in office or what level of office, you know, you're always a mouthpiece or something along those lines. But were there ever times where you even had that exchange with President Trump where it's like, maybe not such a good idea, or I kind of don't think we should go that route?
Certainly, I think one of the misconceptions is the president doesn't listen to the team around him. Nothing could be further from the truth. When I, had disagreements, we talked through that. I never felt like I couldn't voice my opinion. He listened, and at the end of the day, it was his decision to make. 63 million people came out and voted for him to be president of the United States. My role was to communicate his agenda, and it was one I supported and one that I did the best I could to get that message out to the American people. But at the end of the day, it was his decision to make, and that's why people elected him, is because they wanted him to be the leader and to make those decisions. And I think he did a great job and has done a great job over these past just a little over 3 years.
All right, so you're finally back home. You're enjoying your time here in Arkansas. I guess, what have you been doing since coming back to the natural state?
Well, the last couple of months I've been teaching homeschool and starting a nonprofit to help small businesses. But before that, I have a book coming out in September that I'm really excited about. Talks about my life growing up in Arkansas as well as my time at the White House. I'm a Fox News contributor, so I spend a lot of time still doing TV, which I enjoy, and also just spending a lot of great quality time with my family. We've gone out, explored a lot of the beautiful parts of the natural state. There's a reason it's called the natural state. Arkansas may be underrated, but I think it's one of the most beautiful states in the country. And we've spent a lot of time out in the outdoors, enjoying that as a family, and something that we're going to continue to do throughout the rest of the summer.
All right, I guess the million-dollar question here. I'm sure you've heard the rumors. I'm sure you're getting it from a lot of different directions. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders, here in Arkansas, you're back. You left the White House. Are we considering a run for governor here in the natural state?
Certainly thinking about that, but there's plenty of time to make that decision. Right now, my focus is on the 2020 elections, and I think that's where the focus should be. We are dealing with an unprecedented crisis. This is a time where we need to come together as a state. We need to help each other. That's what my focus is currently, is through the Arkansas 30-Day Fund. And after the 2020 election, I'll make a decision on what we're going to do after that. But I think we need to support the people who are in office right now and focus on those 2020 elections, and we'll make a decision in plenty of time before we get to the next round.
All right, so you're considering a run for the governorship.
Fair enough. I've learned a long time ago, you never say never in the world of politics. And, there are many things I thought I would never do and never get to experience. And, God always has a different plan. And I've learned to follow the one that he lays out for you, whether it's the one you think that you're going to go on or not. So far, it's worked out pretty well for me.
All right, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Well, when you're finally ready to make that decision, you come on back here, and you can make that announcement here. But, hey, we appreciate the time. Best of luck going forward.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
All right. When we come back, the streets are again open in D.C., and our good friend Chuck Todd will join us. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
At the national law firm, Barry and I say, if you have $1 and 2 relatives, you need to do some estate planning. When we do estate planning, we're planning not only for our children, but we're planning for these little fur babies as well. Call the national law firm today. Let us do your estate planning.
The Natural State Funeral Service provides Arkansas families affordable funeral services for their loved ones. Our traditional funeral service with a casket starts at $29.95. We also offer on-site cremation for $6.95.
A Natural State Funeral Service serves Arkansas families with dignity and respect.
As a waitress, you're running all over the place. Well, if you have a 4 or 6 hour shift and you're in pain the whole time, that seems like an eternity. I was just aching. My feet were throbbing. I was just genuinely hurting. I kind of lost hope, and then I saw the Good Feet store, and I decided to stop in. When I went in there, that's when everything changed. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For the past 3 years, we have been your neighborhood bar and grill. The staff you know is still here to serve you. Our award-winning cuisine is returning with exciting new dishes. Our mixologists have crafted new signature cocktails. The patio is set up for your family and friends. The garage doors are open on the Sidewalk Cafe. Let us pour you a peachy keat. We're excited to welcome you back.
Flexible home time with Twin City Transportation. At Twin City, we're looking for experienced long-haul regional and OTR dry van drivers. Come join our team. We offer great pay, great benefits, and flexible home time. You'll see that family is very important to us. So if you're the best of the best, you should work for the best. Give us a call or check us out at tctrans.com. Come be part of our family. Twin City Transportation. We know you by your name, not just your truck number.
Slim Chicken's grilled chicken strawberry salad is back. Topped with farm-fresh strawberries and 100% all-natural grilled tenders. But hurry, it's only back for a limited time. Download the Slim Chicken's app and order online.
Have you recently lost a loved one and you're uncertain what the next steps are? I'm attorney Casey Ziegler. I have experience in probate and small estates. So if there's a will, a trust, or you just aren't sure, let me walk you through the process. Call me for a free consultation today.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Well, the streets are reopening in D.C., but our good friend Chuck Todd has always been open to joining us here on Capitol View, and he does so right now. And I would ask if you've gotten out there to any of your favorite spots in D.C., but there's kind of been a lot going on up there. We'll kind of jump right into it here, announcing Friday the United States terminating its relationship with the World Health Organization. It's kind of hard to say, what does that actually mean to the American people right now?
Well, look, it could mean a little when it comes to cooperation. The our CDC and the WHO actually work very closely together. They're both considered sort of the two preeminent health research sort of government type organizations there is. And so, look, there's certainly some of that you would assume is troublesome. The biggest impact isn't for the United States in the short term. It's for think of countries that don't have strong health infrastructures, countries that have larger parts of their population living in poverty, where the WHO, where our funding into the WHO allows the WHO to essentially be those countries' CDCs, if you will, right? Be the resource they need for the virus protections and things like that. That's the type of stuff that could be impacted. Now, the United States has said, the State Department has said that the money that when the WHO used to be a pass-through for that money, that they're going to still send money directly to countries that need it, still send money directly to for instance, we work with the WHO to help run the AIDS program in Africa, PEPFAR as it's known, that money will go directly there. But you have to ask yourself, whatever your issues are with the WHO, is terminating this relationship in the middle of the pandemic the right timing? You know, you can have a debate about what investigations need to be done, what after-action reports, but I think the question, and really the criticism you hear inside even some corners of the administration, which is the timing of this right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch that, how that unfolds. I know, too, Joe Biden, we still do have to get to an election at some point, despite a pandemic here. I know there's been a lot of talk about who he might choose as a VP candidate. What are you hearing? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, look, I think that he is going to, I think, spread this out. I think he's going to take almost the entire 2 months to publicly look as if he is going through this process. And I'd say, meaning, because I think they see opportunities to you know, put a little shine on some of these folks who may become future stars in the party. I do think that the events of this week in Minneapolis, even Joe Biden's own gaffe, if you will, when it came to African-American voters, it is hard to imagine him not picking someone of color as his running mate. So I think when you look at whether it's Kamala Harris, Val Demings of Florida, Stacey Abrams, there's certainly plenty of people for him to choose from. And I think, given the events of this week, given the impact of the pandemic that is on communities of color, I think Joe Biden would have a hard time selling an all-white ticket.
Yeah, it would be
to
tough.
the Democratic
Yeah,
Party.
absolutely. I'm right there with you here. You mentioned the events going on in Minneapolis. I know you're covering that on Meet the Press coming up here in just a few. What do you want to really touch on? What are you trying to bring out here?
Well, I think we're all trying to figure out, I think it's less about what happened in Minneapolis being in Minneapolis and how much of this is, we went through this 6-7 years ago. Is this something that is going to take a generation to root out? Is this something that we can do better with training, with vetting, with recruiting? The question, just coming from the law enforcement issue is, we hear about all this bias training, we hear about this stuff, and yet it does still seem to happen. Where are we going wrong here, and should we be having different conversations?
All right, it's going to be a fascinating watch. I know I'll be tuning in personally, and I know the streets of D.C. are open back up. And I guess quickly here, have you been able to get out into the D.C. area and kind of enjoy kind of what you've missed?
I haven't, because some of us do 3 hours of television every day at this point, buddy. Some of us have a couple. It's been difficult. I'll tell you this: Monday is my weekend. I look forward to taking a look on Monday.
All right, at least looking out the window still, at least. Chuck Todd with Meet the Press. Boss, we appreciate it. We'll do it again soon. All right, and we're back to wrap it up after this. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
We talk about being your jeweler for life, and I mean it. We all mean it here. That's what's important. We try and take care of our customers. We want you to come back. We cherish that. So come see us at Cecil's. See what it's all about.
I'm Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, and you're watching The Rutledge Report. Opioids kill hundreds of Arkansans every year, tearing families apart. On average, there are 62 pills for every man, woman, and child. Together, let's educate everyone, enforce the laws, and end this epidemic. After all, Arkansas is just one big small town. At the Attorney General's office, we will do the fighting for you. Call us at 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And that'll wrap it up for this week's edition of Capitol View. We are back here next week with an all-new Cap, so make sure you get right back here again next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there.